there. So in Shri Īśopaniṣad, what we said initially, that there are 18 mantras, and currently we are on mantra 4. And this is Shri Īśopaniṣad, which has been, so it's one of those Upanishads everybody in Vedanta would know. Vedantas, they usually focus on Upanishads. It's one of those Upanishads which Srila Prabhupada ji has picked up out of all. That was the one Prabhupada ji said, I'm going to translate, and he has provided purports as well. Let's do Mangalachan, take the blessings of the Acharyas, and we shall continue from there. Feel free to join me if you like. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnana-jana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manomishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Zagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchan Gaurani Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Karmami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunavadi Pashatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gurudev Maharaj ki jai, Samved Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Hare Krishna. Such a pleasure to resume where we had left. So very quickly we did the background, we did the introduction, and in the invocation of the purports which Srila Prabhupada ji has given for Shri Īśopaniṣad. Prabhupada ji gave the mantra as Om Purnamada Purnamidam, which is that Krishna is Purna, the absolute truth is Purna, complete, and we have emanated from Krishna, and we are also Purna, we are also complete, and from the complete Krishna, when we, living entity, we have come out, we are complete Krishna, complete Jesus. And the way we understand, when we read the verses, we read the Shastras, from there we can understand, doesn't really matter how many times we take the knowledge out of it, that knowledge stays the same. And this is how Krishna is. That from Krishna, it doesn't really matter how many complete Jivatmas they come out, Krishna still stays the same. Hare Krishna. So, हमारे हिंदी भाषी भक्तों का भी स्वागत है. हमने जिस तरीके से देखा, शिला प्रभुपाद जी ने बताया कि श्री ईशोपनिषद शुरू करने से पहले प्रभुपाद जी ने जो सबसे पहले लंदन के अंदर लेक्चर किया था, उसके अंदर ओम पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदम वर्स जो है, इसको अच्छे से प्रभुपाद जी ने लेक्चर के अंदर एक्सप्लेन किया. प्रभुपाद जी ये बताना चाहते हैं इससे कि जो कृष्णा है वो पूर्ण है, और वो पूर्ण कृष्णा से हम पूर्ण जीवात्मा निकली हैं. उसके बाद भी कृष्णा पूर्ण ही रहते हैं. हमने गोलोका चार्ट की सीरीज में देखा कि कृष्णा के कितने एक्सपेंशंस होते हैं. कृष्णा पूर्ण है, लेकिन कृष्णा से जितने भी एक्सपेंशंस निकले हैं वो उनके पार्शियल एक्सपेंशंस हैं. हम जो जीवात्मा है, हमको पूर्ण माना जाता है. So now from one verses, mantra 1 to 3, there is a theme, and mantra 4 is a different theme. जो शुरू के 3 मंत्र हैं श्री ईशोपनिषद के, वो एक थीम के अंदर है. 18 मंत्र हैं, और इस तरीके से अगर हम थीम्स के अंदर याद रखते हैं तो हमको कोई भी ग्रंथ समझने में, सीखने में और अपनी लाइफ में उतारने में बहुत हेल्प मिलती है. So the first 3 verses, the very first verse is said that there needs to be, so it's the verse starts Īśopaniṣad. Īśopaniṣad concept was introduced where Krishna is the Ishwar and everything belongs to Krishna. If everything belongs to Krishna, we need to be detached, right? And that's the second verse. Then it's hard for us to just to be detached. It's better if we attach to Krishna and then automatically detach. So we say to kids a lot that leave this, leave this, leave this, right? But if we just ask them to leave something, it's very hard. But if we will say, okay, take this good, take this good, take this good. For example, if they are playing video game and say, don't play video game, it will be hard for them to stop playing video game. To do what? But if we will replace it and we will say, come on, weather is beautiful, sun is shining, let's go out, play cricket, football, table tennis, any other game, then kids will find it much easier to leave video game. So the focus is not on leaving, focus is on attaching to the good things, and those things which we are supposed to detach, that will happen automatically, gradually. So the first verse says Īśopaniṣad concept, everything belongs to Krishna, and we need to detach from things. Second verse says it's easier if we attach to Krishna. How we can attach to Krishna, we will see a bit more. And then in the verse 3, we saw the harmony. If we will attach to Krishna in verse 2, the good things will happen. We will be more peaceful. We will be more calm. We will be more happy, which of course everybody would like to be. In mantra 3, if we will not attach to Krishna, then we are going to get punished. And it's not Krishna who is punishing. It's us, our own attachment and detachments that's our punishing or relieving us. So if somebody, so there was a story, it happened at the real story, it comes in the Shastras at the time of Buddha. So Buddha is considered as one of the incarnation. Buddha's name is there in Srimad Bhagavatam as well. Buddha is one of the incarnation of Krishna. And so the source of all the incarnations is Krishna, but from Krishna in the material world, Krishna has given the responsibility to Vishnu. And there are 3 different Vishnus we have seen. So the first one, Mahavishnu, then Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So Garbhodakshaya Vishnu has got the responsibility of giving all other expansions in this material world. That's why a lot of time we consider all these incarnations as Vishnu expansions, that they come from Vishnu, which is right. But Vishnu comes from Krishna, so indirectly Krishna is the source, and Brahmaji confirms that in Brahm Samhita. So these first 3 verses is a theme where we need to understand where we need to attach and where we need to detach. And if we will attach to Krishna, what will happen? If we will detach from material world, what will happen? If we detach from Krishna, what will happen? We will not be so happy. तो जैसे हमने कहा, जो शुरू के 3 वर्सेस हैं, ये एक थीम है जो हम देख चुके हैं और हम 4th मंत्रा की तरफ अब चल रहे हैं। तो सिर्फ रिवीजन के तौर पे पहले वर्स में कंसेप्ट आता है ईशावास्य, कि सब कुछ ईश्वर का है, हमारा कुछ भी नहीं है, और जो भी चीज हमको मिली है वो कृष्णा के लिए ही अगर हम यूज करें तो हम अच्छे से रह सकते हैं। मटेरियल वर्ल्ड के अंदर हमको मंत्रा 2 में बताया गया है कि हमको कृष्णा से अटैच होना है, जिसके लिए हमने पीछे एग्जाम्पल्स भी देखे कि अगर कोई राजा की चीज को हड़पना चाहेगा तो राजा उनको दंड देंगे, लेकिन अगर कोई राजा का ही हो जाएगा, राजा के लिए ही सर्व करेंगे, तो राजा खुश होकर उनको सब कुछ दे सकते हैं, बिकॉज एवरीथिंग बिलोंग्स टू कृष्णा। सो इफ वी will bring Krishna in our life, everything which belongs to Krishna, Krishna will give it to us. However, of course, that's not the extension devotees have, that we will go to Krishna because Krishna will give us everything. तो जैसे हमने देखा फर्स्ट वर्स में ईशावास्यम कंसेप्ट, सब कुछ ईश्वर का है। दूसरे वर्स में कि ईश्वर से अटैच होना है। तीसरे वर्स में अगर हम ईश्वर से अटैच नहीं होंगे तो हमको क्या क्या दिक्कत आ सकती है। तो ये हार्मनी डिसहार्मनी के अंदर हम रहेंगे तो क्या होगा, कैसे रहेगा। तो ये हमने 3 वर्सेस के अंदर देखा। और अगर हम 18 जो श्री ईशोपनिषद के मंत्र हैं उसके अंदर देखें तो हमने सबसे पहले देखे इन्वोकेशन से लेके मंत्रा 3 तक कि किस तरीके से हम हार्मनी में रह सकते हैं ईश्वर के साथ। वर्स 2 में हार्मनी में रहेंगे तो क्या होगा, वर्स 3 में हार्मनी में नहीं रहेंगे तो क्या होगा। हार्मनी का मतलब कि जो ईश्वर के साथ में हमें अटैचमेंट चाहिए वो हम रखेंगे तो क्या होगा, हम कितने खुश रह सकते हैं, और नहीं रखेंगे तो क्या होगा, हमको बहुत दुख मिलेगा, जो हमको अक्सर मिलता ही है। क्योंकि अगर हमारी अटैचमेंट मटेरियल चीजों के साथ है और वो मटेरियल चीजें ही हमें मालूम है मटेरियल है, वो टेम्परेरी है, तो दुख होगा ही होगा। लेकिन अगर भगवान के साथ में अटैचमेंट है, भगवान तो हमेशा बने रहेंगे। तो अगर हमारा प्रेम भगवान के साथ है और भगवान हमेशा बने रहेंगे तो हमारा प्रेम भी हमेशा बना रहेगा। और अगर हमारा अटैचमेंट, हमारा प्रेम टेम्परेरी चीजों के साथ है तो या तो वो टेम्परेरी चीज चली जाएंगी या हम चले जाएंगे। हम कहते हैं कि अगर हमारी लाइफ के अंदर, इन आवर लाइफ, इफ वी हैव लॉस्ट समवन, समथिंग वी डियरली लव, could be a family member, could be a house, could be a car, could be funds, money, job, a lot of time people do commit suicide. People suicide just because they have lost one thing. But at the time of death, all those things which are attached to us and we are attached to them, in one go, all those things will go. Can we imagine that? Throughout our life, we worked for someone. At the time of death, in one go, all those attachments will go. And we have experienced that even if one small thing happens, how panic we get, how distressed we get. By the time of the death, all of these things will go in one go. So this is what we need to understand. हम अगर ये हमेशा याद रखें कि मृत्यु के समय पे ये सारी चीजें जो मटेरियल हैं ये चली जाएंगी, इनसे हमारा अटैचमेंट खत्म हो जाएगा। तो हम सोच सकते हैं कि हमको कितनी पीड़ा आने वाली है। अगर हम अटैचमेंट भगवान के साथ में रखें और बाकी सारी चीजों से धीरे धीरे अटैचमेंट हमारी कम हो जाए। हम ये नहीं कह रहे हैं कि अपनी फैमिली को छोड़ दे, अपनी कोई जॉब छोड़ दे, अपना कोई रिलेटिव्स को छोड़ दे, लेकिन अटैचमेंट नहीं होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हम अपने आप को ये याद दिला सकते हैं पल पल कि ये मटेरियल है और ये एक दिन जाएगा, या तो वो जाएंगे या हम जाएंगे। ये मंत्र 3 तक हमने बात करी। हरे कृष्ण। प्लीज माता जी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। Now the thing is, yes, we have to keep reminding ourselves that this is all material thing, because recently we experienced a loss, and then my brother-in-law passing away and other things, and at times you get so down. True. But then you start thinking that this is material, and I think it does help rising you up from this level that you have fallen down so low, Prabhuji.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing that. It does help. However, of course, we start the process once we have lost someone. Imagine if we start the process from the beginning. If we also tell our children, if our children are grown up based with that the family and everything else is temporary, we are just going to stay here with each other on a temporary basis. Will be only few years, could be 5 years, could be 50 years, but it won't be forever. If we just remember that, and if we live our life, and that way we will be more happy. Reason being, I always tell my kids, because they keep fighting with each other. So I have son and daughter, and they just keep picking things just for the fun of it. And then somebody, for example, Shivani's a friend is here. When somebody else will come, or when the kids will go out, they are so nice with them. Then I say, well, why are we nice with those people whom we meet for a short time, and those whom we live with, we are a bit more stubborn? And the answer is in the question. Because we are going to be there with them for a short period, we try to give our best behavior. Right? This happens. This always happens. Even in the office, if we will meet a guest, we will be very, 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 very cautious what we're going to say. But those colleagues who work with us day long, day in, day out, every day for many years, we might say anything to them. So if we remember that we are living with each other for a short time, then we will be peaceful with everyone, because we are just going to live with them and we consider them as a guest in our family. So thank you so much for that realization, Mataji. Certainly it does help when we remind each other, but rather than experiencing the loss and then working on it, imagine how powerful it could be if we started from the beginning.
I think Prabhuji, that is what we should be doing. But that is, we don't do that in material world. People don't, never said, I never heard my parents teaching me that concept. But now that we have discussed it, we heard the loss, I think we should make a point to tell others.
That's true. That's true. And so not in Krishna consciousness, but there is a spiritual guy. He's not there anymore, I think. His name is, so he was American. He was a professor, Harvard professor. And he left his job. He went to India and he got initiated by Lahari Mahashay. Lahari Mahashay is in north of India. And he's the same guy, same guru who is not there anymore. But Lahari Mahashay was the same guy who Steve Jobs, the inventor of Apple company, he went and he saw him as well. So Ram Das is from the same guru. He's changed his name to Ram Das. And when I was reading his autobiography, and I've read a lot of his books, one of his famous books is Here and Now. Here, Living Now, in present. And when he shared his experiences, and one thing which, because I was lucky enough to be born in India and grown up in India, and so I take a lot of things for granted. But one thing I read in his book, which is very simple yet very profound, he said that in Western world, in America, or the same thing here in London now, that when people die, it's very closed environment. When people die, the dead body will be inside the coffin, and only the close relatives and friends will come, and they will see the dead body, and dead body will go in the car and straight underground. What happens in India? And when he said it, then I understood the implications. He said in India, it's the other way around. When somebody dies, in open, people take the dead body, and people take the dead body and they show it to everyone. And not only they show it and the verses, and of course, in Hindi, it's Ram Naam Satya Hai. So this shows how rich the culture used to be, and I think still if it happens, the same thing in India, that what that chanting is reminding everyone that everything else is false, but the only name of the Lord is true. And we are reminding everyone in the society, even if nobody knows that person, we are reminding that doesn't really matter where you are busy. But remember, this is your ultimate destination, and only the name of the Lord is true. Rama Nama Sakti. That's the only thing. Nothing else is so true. So that's one observation he made in his book. And when I read it, I thought, wow, that's so true. He said it's other way around. And no wonder that India is so ahead in its spiritual realizations. That's what he said in his book. And when I read it, I thought, wow, that's so true. That even in even the children, they could see the dead bodies. But here, people in America and Europe, people don't see the dead bodies until unless, of course, somebody very close one died. So certainly it helps. It helps if we bring back that culture where we share the reality of the life rather than. So somebody else, there's a Buddhist monk. He also said it. He's old now. He's 70 plus. But when he was young, he was a professor in Cambridge University here. And he decided at one point that I will leave everything. He went to Thailand to learn Buddhism. And then he's based in Australia. One of my favorite monks. He's very jolly. He's always sharing and cracking jokes. He said that for him, I think it was his grandfather. So when his grandfather was sick, the doctors went, so all the family were sitting inside, and the doctors came, and doctor said to the grandfather, oh, you will be okay. Everything is okay. You are recovering very nicely. No worries. Take your time. I'm sure you will be good. And as soon as the doctor stepped out of that room, and of course, he came out, he was a child then, and his father came out. His grandfather was the one who was dying. And he said, as soon as doctor came out of the room, doctor said to father that he's not going to stay more than 2 days. He's going to die in 2 days. And as a young boy, he said, what I could not understand, that this is the moment, this old guy, my grandfather, is going to die. And even at this time, people are lying to him that he's okay, he will recover soon. And who is lying? That doctor whom we have put all the trust, that doctor is lying to him that you will be okay. While the doctor knows he will not be okay. So at least right at the end, we could be honest with the person. So that hit him very hard. And that was where he realized that the society is false. Society is doing something very, very, very wrong, especially lying to each other. And of course, in Buddhism, out of 4 noble truths, one noble truth is not to lie. And that was one of those things attracted him to. Hare Krishna. I think there was a network issue. I hope everyone is back now.
Yes, Prabhuji, it's fine.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you, Ajayji. Thank you, Mataji. So this is what we can remember, that if we will be honest with each other, then certainly, and that's the reason we say we should be in association of devotees. हमें हमेशा भक्तों के साथ में रहना चाहिए, क्योंकि भक्त हमको हमेशा सच्चाई का अवगत कराते रहते हैं. They always keep us reminding, even if They are like, so we also say guru. Guru is like, so we say GPS, global positioning system. Guru positioning system is where guru keeps us bringing back on the track if we have lost. अगर हम किसी वजह से इधर उधर हो जाते हैं तो गुरु और संग हमें वापस लाते रहते हैं. और अब अगर हम अपने मंत्रा 4 की तरफ बढ़ें तो हम समझ सकते हैं कि मंत्रा 4 के अंदर 4 to 8 ये 4 वर्सेस जो हैं ये सेम थीम में चलेंगे. The Ishwar can be understood by spiritual vision. Now this is what we have seen, and this is the further division. 4 to 5, Ishwar is inconceivable to our normal intelligence. Like we cannot understand Krishna. We just cannot understand Krishna. And a lot of times this has happened. We try to understand the past times, how Krishna did it. Now there is no one who has been successful in understanding Krishna. Brahmaji got bewildered, and Brahmaji wrote Brahm Samhita. Indra at the time of when Krishna picked the mountain, Govardhan Hill, past time, Indra was bewildered, and Krishna humbled Indra number of times. And then Lord Shiva at the time of Mohini Murtis. So we can understand these are like the topmost where we can think. Brahma, Shivji, Indra, the leader of demigods. Now, if they found it hard to understand Krishna, how we can understand Krishna? It's very, very, very hard. तो हमने देखा श्री ईशोपनिषद में मंत्रा 4 से लेके मंत्रा 8 तक ये 4 वर्सेस के अंदर हम ये समझेंगे 4-5 वर्सेस में कि ईश्वर को समझने के लिए हमको स्पिरिचुअल विजन चाहिए. हम अध्यात्म से ही भगवान को समझ सकते हैं, भौतिक साधनों से नहीं समझ सकते. और ये जो हमारा शरीर है ये भौतिक है. और फिर 4 से 5 ये जो 2 वर्ष हैं इसके अंदर ये समझाया गया है कि भगवान को समझना कितना मुश्किल है, बहुत मुश्किल. और हम इसके अंदर श्रील प्रभुपाद जी ने कुछ उदाहरण दिए हैं, कुछ एग्जाम्पल्स दिए हैं, कुछ एनालॉजीज दिए हैं कि क्यों हमारे लिए इतना मुश्किल है भगवान को समझना. और उसके बाद जब हम आगे चलेंगे तब हमको ये बताया गया है कि समझना भगवान को मुश्किल, लेकिन किस तरीके से हम भगवान को समझ सकते हैं. अभी ये दोनों चीजें कॉन्ट्राडिक्टिंग लगती हैं कि भगवान को समझना मुश्किल है लेकिन किस तरीके से समझ सकते हैं. तो इस कॉन्ट्राडिक्शन को हम इस तरीके से रिजॉल्व कर सकते हैं कि समझना मुश्किल है अगर हम अपने ऊपर कॉन्फिडेंस रख के कहें नहीं मैं भगवान को समझ के रहूंगा. लेकिन अगर हम अच्छे भक्त बनते हैं तो भगवान कहते हैं मैं खुद, जैसे भगवान भगवद गीता में भी कहते हैं मैं खुद ज्ञान देता हूं भक्त को मुझे समझने के लिए. So it's hard to understand Krishna, but still we can understand Krishna. And these two statements might look contradicting, but it's easier to understand if we understand that if we try to understand Krishna from our own efforts, it's hard. Only thing we can do it, we can try to perform devotional service. And if Krishna is happy, based on our karma, based on our bhakti, then we will develop those qualities by the mercy of Krishna. And this is what we will see how it will happen. But these are the verses we are going to discuss. Now in mantra 4 itself, we briefly saw it last time, I think. AT is absolute truth. Absolute truth is AT. In Upanishads, rather than giving the name as Krishna or Vishnu or Rama or tomorrow is Narsimha Chaturthi, there is hardly, very, very rare the names are given. Otherwise, the abstract notions are available. So rather than saying God, it says absolute truth in Upanishad. So Shri Īśopaniṣad is one of the Upanishads. So that's the reason AT, absolute truth, is mentioned. Absolute truth cannot be understood by speculations. Now, what are speculations? Speculations are when we just try to understand mentally, oh, if that happened, that must be it. So हम यहाँ पे ये कह रहे हैं कि भगवान को समझना, हमारे मानसिक रूप से अगर हम भगवान को समझने की कोशिश करें, सिर्फ सोच विचार करके, आर्ग्यूमेंट करके, डिस्कशन करके, तो हमारे लिए भगवान को समझना बहुत ही मुश्किल है. उपनिषद जो बहुत ज्यादा रीड करते हैं वो अद्वैत फॉलो करते हैं, अद्वैतियंस, जैसे रामकृष्ण परमहंस जी, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी. और वो लोग ऐसा मानते हैं कि अगर आप मेडिटेशन करेंगे तो आप ब्रह्मन रियलाइज हो सकते हैं. और भगवान कृष्ण भी ब्रह्मन रियलाइज थे. वो भगवान और ईश्वर के अंदर फर्क मानते हैं कि जो अपने आप को मेडिटेशन करके, ध्यान करके इस लेवल पे ले जा सकता है कि फिर वो सब जगह भगवान को देख सकता है, वो फिर ईश्वर बन जाता है, ऐसा कहते हैं. लेकिन क्वेश्चन ये आता है ऐसे में कि भगवान कृष्ण ने तो जो लीलाएं करी थी वो छोटी सी उम्र में करी थी. भगवान 4-5 दिन के ही थे जब पूतना वध हुआ था, और शटकासुर को भी भगवान ने मारा था, वो भी भगवान बहुत छोटे थे. तो भगवान ने ये जो लीलाएं करी, इसके लिए भगवान ने कब मेडिटेशन करने का टाइम मिला भगवान को? सो कृष्णा गॉट could consider this as Krishna Leela as well. I'm not sure what's happening, but again, Hare Krishna. But again, I think the connection was lost, and now we all are back to the connection. So I hope everyone could hear. So what we were discussing, that Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Ajay ji. कि Krishna's childhood pastimes, if we try to understand, अगर हम भगवान के जो बचपन की लीलाएं हैं उसको समझने की कोशिश करें, तो भगवान को तो मौका ही नहीं मिला कभी मेडिटेशन करने का. तो भगवान कब ब्रह्मन रियलाइज्ड हुए? जैसे कुछ लोग ऐसा मानते हैं कि भगवान कृष्ण भगवान नहीं है, वो एक सिद्ध पुरुष थे. तो इसलिए वो सिद्ध पुरुष थे, तो उन्होंने अर्जुन को वो सारी सिद्धि जो उन्होंने गेन कर, वो सब जो ब्रह्मन रियलाइजेशन के लिए मेडिटेशन जरूरी होती है, वो हो सकता है भगवान कृष्ण ने कभी करी. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Not sure. As I said, we can consider that as Krishna Leela. भगवान की लीला को समझ सकते हैं हम. शायद ऐसा कुछ भगवान चाह रहे हैं कि हो, अपने आप ही नेटवर्क कनेक्शन हटता है और अपने आप ही रिकनेक्ट होता है. तो हम यही कहना चाह रहे हैं कि भगवान जब छोटी सी उम्र में भगवान ने जितने भी लीलाएं करी, तो उस टाइम भगवान को कभी भी कोई भी मेडिटेशन करने का समय नहीं मिला. और उस टाइम जब ब्रह्मा जी आए और ब्रह्मा जी ने सारे गोपालों को लेकर चले गए, जब कृष्ण भगवान ने अपनी खुद की एक्सपेंशन करी, भगवान खुद अपने फ्रेंड्स बन गए थे, अपने बछड़े बन गए थे और उनके रूप ले लिया था, तो वो भगवान ने मेडिटेशन कहाँ से करी? उस टाइम तक, तब वो भगवान छोटे ही थे. तो there can't be any other reason. Krishna himself is the God, is the Lord. So it's hard to understand Krishna. We can understand from this. And we have seen that there are three different aspects of Krishna, of God. And the first one is Brahman realization, which is like we are a spiritual being. We are not material body. And the second is Paramatma realization. Paramatma realization is that not only that I am spiritual, everyone else is also spiritual. And then the third one, that Krishna is a supreme person. It's not that there is a Brahm Jyoti and when we will die, we will go and merge in Brahm Jyoti. Krishna is a person. It's like a sun is there and from sun we get the sunlight. So there is a source of sun. So the first thing we said, it's hard to understand Krishna. Now, if it's hard to understand Krishna, then how we will understand this knowledge? And this is understood in the next part. And Srila Prabhupada ji explains. तो अगर हम ये समझेंगे भगवान को समझना मुश्किल, ये बताया जा रहा है कि भक्त धीरे समझ सकते हैं. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol. So my apologies, not sure really. It got to be the network, but I'm not sure how bad or how good it is because it goes out, it keeps connecting itself. So what we were saying that it's hard to understand Krishna, but we can understand Krishna through the devotional dedication, through the devotional service, when we slowly, gradually try, then it gets into our system. So हम जिस तरीके से बात कर रहे थे कि हमको भगवान कृष्ण से, भगवान से अटैच होना चाहिए, बाकी सब चीजों से डिटैच होना चाहिए, तो ये बहुत मुश्किल होता है, बहुत मुश्किल. लेकिन जब हम भक्ति में लगते हैं और भक्ति में धीरे धीरे Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All right. So, so this is what we're discussing, that we can understand slowly and slowly, gradually, something which seems impossible. Then the grandchild tries. Hare Krishna. I've just changed my place here in the home. Not sure if that's going to make any difference, but and we are left with few minutes anyways. Let's try. All right. Okay. So. Right. Hare Krishna. So as we said, like gradually, if somebody will try, it's very hard to keep water in that basket where coal is kept because there are many holes in it. But the water will not stay there. Water will come through and water will clean the basket. And that's how the gyan, the knowledge, a lot of times devotees say, oh, well, we can't remember. काफी बार भक्त ऐसा कहते हैं कि हम पढ़ते बहुत हैं लेकिन हमें याद ही नहीं रहती, भगवान की बातें याद नहीं रहती, भगवान के श्लोक याद नहीं रहते. लेकिन ये बिल्कुल वैसे ही है कि जैसे जिसमें हम बास्केट में कोयला रखते हैं, उसके अंदर पानी रुकेगा नहीं, लेकिन जब पानी आएगा और पास होके जाएगा तो वो बास्केट क्लीन हो जाएगी. इसी तरीके से भगवान का जब ज्ञान हम पढ़ेंगे, सुनेंगे, डिस्कस करेंगे, वो बेशक हमारे अंदर रुके नहीं, लेकिन हमको क्लीन करता हुआ जरूर जाएगा. So this way the revelations work. Through devotional service, it will keep working, then definitely it helps. It certainly helps. Now the next thing in this purport Srila Prabhupada ji has mentioned is that the Lord has his energies. So it's hard to understand sun. It's hard to experience sun because sun is further away. If somebody will say, well, I will not trust sun. I will go to the sun planet and then only I will trust sun is there. It's very hard. But we can see and we can observe and we can feel the energies of the sun, like sunlight, sun energy. We can see the light outside from the window, and at the same time, if we will go out, that sunlight will fall on us. We can feel the heat of it. तो जिस तरीके से हम अगर सूरज को समझने की कोशिश करें तो बहुत मुश्किल रहेगा, लेकिन उस सूरज से जो प्रकाश निकलता है, सूरज से जो लाइट निकलती है, सनलाइट, और उस सनलाइट के अंदर अगर हम खड़े हों तो वो जो हमें ऊर्जा, जो गर्मी मिलती है, वो हम जरूर, तो हम देख भी सकते हैं, हम महसूस भी कर सकते हैं. And because of these energies, we can trust sun. So we know the sun due to the energies of the sun, the sunlight and the heat. Similar thing goes with the fire. Now the fire is there, but from fire we also get smoke. From fire we also get light. From fire we also get heat. Now when we try to understand fire, we might not be able to touch it, because if we touch it, we burn it. We will burn our hand. But we can understand the energies around. We can understand the heat of the fire. We can understand the light. And this is what we call at the same time. So when we are in the sunlight, we cannot, we say, oh, I'm in the sun. I'm not in the sun. I'm in the sunlight. But still, we say we are in the sun, which is right and wrong at the same time. Is the context. Same thing, जब हम भगवान की एनर्जीज के साथ में हैं और भगवान की एनर्जी जो भगवान परमात्मा के रूप में हर तरफ है, हम वो रियलाइजेशन कर पाते हैं, तब हम धीरे धीरे भगवान को समझ पाते हैं। तो भगवान बेशक हमारे सामने ना आए, लेकिन भगवान की जो एनर्जीज जिससे सब पूरा संसार चल रहा है, उससे हमको भगवान को समझने में मदद मिलती है। जिस तरीके से सूर्य देव को हम समझते हैं सूरज की रोशनी से, रोशनी में जब हम जाते हैं तो उसकी ऊर्जा से, उसी तरीके से जब हम आग को जलता हुआ देखते हैं, आग से जो स्मोक निकलता है, आग से जो ऊर्जा निकलती है, जो गर्मी निकलती है, जो प्रकाश आग से निकलता है, ये सारी की सारी आग की एनर्जी है। एट द सेम टाइम वो आग है भी। अगर हम आग की गर्मी के ऊपर हाथ ताप रहे हैं तो हम कह सकते हैं कि हम आग ताप रहे हैं, लेकिन वो आग नहीं है। आग है भी और आग नहीं भी है। आग है क्योंकि वो आग की ही एनर्जी है, और आग नहीं भी है। I remember the very first time I went somewhere because my father asked me to go, and my father is a Sharma and I'm a Sharma. So he could not go, he asked me to go there, and I was representing my family. So at the same time, I was representing my father. On behalf of my father, I could say something. On behalf of my father, I could take decisions. So at the same time, I was my father, but I was not my father, but I'm the energy of my father. Right? So this way, people say that we are God. Actually, we are not God. We are the energies of God. And next week, we will see God has 3 different kinds of energies, and we will see different aspects of them. So God has internal energy, external energy, and marginal energy. And we are in marginal. But we will see the difference between all 3. And we will go into a bit more detail in mantra 4. But in essence, we have seen that it's hard to understand God just by speculations. But when we start doing devotional service, when we keep listening about Krishna, we will realize Krishna's energies around. And then we will able to understand Krishna. And then there is a last part, play your part and you will be given understanding. This is what Krishna says. Sarvasya chaham hriday sannivishto matha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Jnanam apohanam cha. I am the one who gives the jnana. So we cannot gain the jnana, gain the knowledge to understand Krishna, but Krishna can give that knowledge. So this is the overview of mantra 4. Last bit, which we didn't do it today, we will do it next week, and we will go into a bit more detail, many analogies, many examples, many stories to understand this mantra 4 or Shri Īśopaniṣad even more. My apologies, today had a lot of internet network connectivity issues, but let's consider that Krishna Leela. And gather next week at the same time, 9:30 in the morning, Saturday morning, and we'll resume back to mantra. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Gurudev Maharaj ki jai. Jai Shri Radha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.